Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Listen carefully because I want to read your reflections through the Zoom chat. And this is me encouraging all joining through Facebook and Instagram to join us through Zoom so there's more interaction. Time moves slowly, but passes quickly. I'll share it again, and you share your reflections in the chat. What does this mean to you? Time moves slowly, but passes quickly. Share away. This is a quote from Alice Walker. From inner to outer. Every moment is precious. Time moves slowly if you're focused. When time has purpose, it performs well. These are lovely reflections. I have a similar reflection. If we want to transform our life, we have to transform our day. I have to focus on the slow part so that as this accumulates to become quick, it's the direction I want this to go in. And this is the vision of Meaningful Mornings, to engage daily. If we identify with a varna, English words for varna, a personality, an inclination, a sense of individuality, then we have to nurture our guna. We have to invest in our guna. The appropriate word for guna in this context is intention. Nurture, invest in the intention to evolve. As our EQ rises, because that's what our intention is. EQ can mean emotional quotient, fine. Better is enlightenment quotient. There's a corresponding decrease in our EP. Do you all remember what EP stands for? Please share. I forgot. I'm like a goldfish. I have a short-term memory. Ego pressure. Ego pressure. Do you know if you have an ego pressure problem? I've even given you the test and you're all saying, yes, we do. Here's your test. Our ego pressure makes us extrovert. An extrovert feels they will be completed externally, which is why they have more fear. Fear that they won't get what they desire or deserve. I'd shared with all of you a teaching, or the theme of chapter 4 is deservershiplessness. Or another way to think about this is to have less fear. When my intention becomes completely selfless or egoless, I start to identify not with avarna, but rather avarna. Varna is personality, avarna is presence. One feels no limits to their joy then. This is all shared in verses 11 to 15. In verse 16 and onwards, Sri Krishna is sharing the same message, but a different orientation. So this is clearer to us. He, as if, asks questions about karma. What is karma? What is akarma? The implication of this question is that we are more than our varna. A varna is not based on karma, it is based on guna. So we are more than a karma. When we appreciate that, we come to appreciate that we're more than a guna, more than a varna. If this is too abstract for you, the implication of this question is that there's more to you than your body. When we think of action, we think of this body. You are more than your body. You will know your intention is becoming more selfless or egoless when you feel that you are more than your body. This question was asked generally. Now this question is asked specifically. Verse 17. Karma no hyapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karma no gatihi. I prefer to study these verses quarter by quarter in order, but for this one, we're going to start with the last quarter. Gahana means authentic, deep. Karmanaha gatihi, the path of action, also known as karma yoga, or you can change the words to understanding actions. One needs to be authentic and deep. And action's the tip of the iceberg. Below that, there's much more. Guna, varna, avarna. So let's analyze the types of actions. I'm moving to the second quarter now. Bodhavya, one should know. One should understand and appreciate what? Vikarma is. The first type of action we're focusing on is vikarma. V-I, karma. In English, karma means activity. Vi, here I'm putting in the prefix, deactivity. Deactivity. What is vikarma? Deactivity. What does it look like in our lives? It is when we engage in nishiddha karmas and kamya karmas, which means prohibited actions and selfish actions. That is the first part of this framework. Vikarma, deactivity, prohibited and selfish actions. In summary, these are actions that harm. They harm oneself, they harm one's society. More evolved than this, we're moving upwards. I'm going to the first quarter now. Again, the word bodhavya. We should understand and appreciate what karma is. Karma in English, activity. So deactivity, activity. What does it look like in our everyday? when we focus on naimittika karma and nitya karma, which means our special responsibilities and regular responsibilities. In general, or in summary, it's that which helps oneself and helps one's society. Everyone's clear so far? Bodhavya. Understand, appreciate. Deactivity is not a responsibility, it is an action that harms. Karma, though defined as activity, is a responsibility, special and regular. This helps oneself, one's society. Now we're in the third quarter. Bodhavya, understand and appreciate. Akarma, akarma. Now everyone needs to listen more carefully. Akarma has two meanings, and they're in the exact opposite directions. So first, I'm going to take the least evolved direction. Akarma means inactivity. Inactivity. Inactivity is when there's no devolving, there's no evolving, there's no harming, there's no helping, because there's no intention. When are we all engaged in akarma or inactivity? Some of you are on your way to this right now. Sleep. Okay? An example of akarma is sleep. You can't harm yourself or others. You can't help yourself or others. If there's a crime in your home and you're sleeping, you're not charged with anything. If someone is saved in your home and you're sleeping, you're not credited for that either. Okay, now I take it to the exact opposite, the highest evolution. Akarma also means unactivity. Unactivity. And here, there's no evolution, there's no devolving, there's no helping, there's no harming. Not because there's no intention. This is because there's no incompleteness. Incompleteness. We act for completeness. Yes? Built into that is I'm doing, so I deserve completeness. But if one has no sense of incompleteness, that means they're not acting for fulfillment, they're acting out of fulfillment. There's no sense of doership, there's no sense of deservership. Bodhavyam. I will give you a visual where all of this will become much clearer. Is there anyone here who has never heard of the term Ramayana before? Okay, most have. Akarma is Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna, who is an icon of tamas or laziness, what did he do most of the time? Slept. He neither harmed anyone while he was sleeping nor helped anyone. Vikarma, Ravana. He's an icon of rajas or aggressiveness. He engaged in harming himself and harming society. Then we move to karma, Vibhishana. Vibhishana is an icon of sattva or calmness. He helped himself and he helped others, like Sri Hanumana, Devi Sita. And then we go one more back to akarma, unactivity. Who's that? Sri Rama. The word Rama means joyous, the one who's complete. So all he did, he acted out of fulfillment. He's beyond laziness, aggressiveness, calmness. He is presence. Was that helpful? My final thought to all of you. These are the exact same words I shared yesterday. Others may not know your intention. Only those who are sensitive to their own intention can understand and appreciate another's intention. But you know your intention. Even if you're engaged in externally the most selfless, as if action, if you're doing this with the wrong intention, then that is vikarma. One will devolve, slow down. Understand and appreciate your intention. This is how you're going to change your varna, or sense of individuality, to finally be avarna. I'm not an individual, I am infinite. Aren't you happy this is only less than 18 minutes? Imagine I spoke for 45 minutes on this verse. Back to akarma. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday: distract mind with reading. Reading what? Your reflections, this community's reflections on our website, SIGHT. Sheila and I were chatting yesterday about how complicated English is. An adverb describes a verb, correct? Then why is it called an adjective? It should be called an adnoun, no? That which describes a noun. So ours is not a website, S-I-T-E. It is S-I-G-H-T. It helps one to see. Your application for this morning: yesterday you read reflections. Today I want you to comment on them. So if you read Swapnila's or Darshan's or Narendra's or Asha's reflections, now you comment on that. That's your application. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.